pace, possibly surpassing pre-recession year 2008. Although with the current 3% vacancy factor or lower, it's simply not enough. We are still having trouble reducing homelessness. The apartment vacancy rate will begin to increase when the new residential units are absorbed throughout the market. In my opinion, the vacancy rate will double from 3% to 6% within 1 year. There will be ample units to reduce homelessness substantially. Also, within that same period, property tax revenue to the city will increase tremendously. We currently have 755 homeless people sleeping on the sidewalks, 315 in doorways, 213 under bridges, 162 in vehicles, 140 in the woods, 70 in the park, and also 50 in abandoned buildings. The majority of these people are considered the chronic homeless, 1 to 10 years outside on the streets. They are the excluded, the forgotten from the system, the people who need the housing the most, who are currently being excluded. With increased residential unit inventory, with a guaranteed surge in property tax revenue, and with the additional funding directed toward the excluded chronic homeless, reducing homelessness significantly in Portland, Multnomah County can and will happen within the next 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as Devin James or Rika Johnson arrive, everyone? Okay, so let's move on to time certain then, please. Oh, sorry, consent. We have 1 or 2 items removed from consent. I think request for 1129 from Commissioner Fish and also a request for 1127. Is that right? Correct. So with those 2 exceptions, are we ready to take the roll call? Mr. Walsh, I believe. So let's take a roll call on the balance of the consent calendar.
Melvin.
Aye.
Fritz. Aye. Fish.
Aye.
Saltzman.
Aye.
Dales.
Aye. Okay, time certain. Commissioner Fritz.
That's right, just the title that we are having a presentation for the 2014 World Cup Soccer Tournament. And before I begin, I'd like to ask Mike Abate to come to the table. This is our wonderful Director of Parks and Recreation, and it's not just me who says so. It is the American Society of Landscape Architects, who just this month recognized Director Abate with a fellowship in their society, which is an extremely prestigious award not granted to very many folks. So I just want to congratulate you, Mike Abate, and thank you for representing.
How would you like to be addressed in the future?
Mike is just fine, Commissioner.
Unfortunately, with our funding deficit, it doesn't come with a major pay raise, but it's certainly an honor for our whole city that you have received this award.
Thank you.
And I'm very pleased to announce this item to Council, which highlights a number of the things that I value: community participation, collaboration, involvement of underserved communities, and perhaps most importantly, soccer. But not most importantly, soccer, because it's not just about soccer, it's about engaging our communities in a wonderful sport that allows us all to participate in various ways. Even those of us like me who has never played a competitive game of soccer in my life, but was allowed to referee that game, which was pretty fun. So we're here to talk about the 2013 World Cup Soccer Tournament, which included more than 16 community-based organizations, bureaus, and school districts. 11 boys teams and 4 girls teams participated, with more than 300 participants in all, ranging in age from 14 to 19. And 25 countries were represented in the tournament. This is more than just a weekend of soccer. This is about an active program that also encourages participants to learn about city jobs, city services, and how they might become involved in the future. And so it's a great partnership between school districts and a number of city bureaus, as well as Portland Parks and Recreation. So with that, I will turn it over to Director Abate and Elizabeth Moore.
Mayor and members of the council, this is an amazing event that we have annually and brings together the community in so many ways. One of our goals as a Bureau is to make sure that our facilities, our programs, and our activities are all accessible to everyone in the community. And this is a hallmark activity and event, and I'm going to allow Elizabeth Kennedy Wong, our Public Relations Manager, to tell you a little bit more about the story.
Good morning. So this year, the World Cup Soccer Tournament has taken on an even more significant approach to how we integrate cultures and the youth who are both playing in the soccer tournament and organizing it. So as you know, Portland Parks and Recreation is committed to providing youth leadership opportunities. We hire more teens in our lifeguard programs, in our environmental education programs, and another number of other programs. So the approach we took to World Cup Soccer this year was to take the youth who participate in the event and actually hire them to organize the event. So the people behind me are the 10 youth who have been hired to organize the 2014 World Cup Soccer Tournament. They're from 9 different countries. They speak probably among them 20 different languages. They, more than anyone else, know their cultures, their communities, and they know soccer. So we're going to give them the chance to talk about this year's event and show you the significance of it, both for the city of Portland and for our immigrant and refugee communities. Thank you. We're going to start with a video.
It's a little overwhelming, and for some people, it's the question of what's my point of entry? Maybe there's a language barrier. Maybe there's a cultural barrier. Maybe you don't have an internet connection.
It's not my music. It's amazing how much you get back.
Today is a youth soccer program put up by Portland Parks and Recreation. Portland Fire Department has partnered with Portland Parks, and what it is, it's an opportunity for our youth in Portland, our young kids, to get together and play soccer, to learn the importance of teammanship, have the firefighters be mentors and role models for young kids moving to the city of Portland from other countries, to integrate them into our population.
My name is Adam Tara. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Congo. I go to Centennial High School. I work in part of media disability. I speak 11 languages.
My name is Shoroga. I am 18 years old and I am from Mexico. I speak 2 different languages and I am part of the Team Connections for the Creative Youth Soccer Leaders.
Hi, my name is Bamar Dorba. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Ethiopia. I speak 2 languages, and my job as a CYSL committee member is to gather around all different departments around Portland and have them sponsor us, also known as career youth. Thank you.
My name is Marko Bozic. I was born in Zagreb, Croatia, and my role in the CYSL is the Team Connections, and I currently speak 2 different languages.
It's Vashi. I'm from Thailand. I speak 3 languages. I'm one of the youth committee. My role is to contact with different agencies, letting them know we are looking for a donation.
Hey, my name is Marwan. I'm from Morocco. I speak 4 languages, Arabic and English. I'm a need assessment team.
Hi, my name is Greg Rubon. I am 18 years old. I'm from Haiti. I'm in the youth career week team, and I speak 2 languages.
My name is Tyler Noble. I'm 17 years old. I'm currently a senior at Hopkins High School. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and my role as a CYSL member is donations.
Good morning, welcome. Who's on first?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and honorable commissioners. My name is Ann Downing, and I teach English as a second language at David Douglas High School in East Portland. I spend my days teaching Portland's newcomer youth about the English language and American culture. My students are from all over the planet, and their stories are fascinating, their experiences noteworthy. Their backgrounds and academic skills are often vastly different. However, they share many of the same dreams, and passions. After all, they are teenagers. One of those shared passions among both the girls and the boys is the game of soccer. They talk about soccer, they write about soccer, they practice soccer, they learn the English word soccer their first week in America. Soccer is a beautiful sport. It teaches cooperation, concentration, and respect. I think you already understand the value of this tournament and the value of connecting these young people to their city. So I'd like to share with you something that happens from time to time in my classroom. On the rare occasion, I lose the rapt attention of my students. I've used up all of my teacher tricks, and to bring them back to the subject at hand, I will occasionally take a deep breath and say, "Soccer!" All eyes are back at me, and I can continue the lesson. There are a few things which draw teens so powerfully. Not all of these are as beneficial as the game of soccer. The Portland World Cup is a great opportunity for all of us to practice positive collective impact. It's a great honor to be involved with this wonderful tournament. Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for your time today, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you also.
Good morning. My name is Lauren Reinhardt. I work for Portland Fire and Rescue. I've gotten an opportunity to coach one of the teams for the last few years, along with my crew. I'll be the first to tell you I don't know much of anything about soccer. What we were able to do was show kids what we do know. We know a lot about teamwork, a little about hard work, and that's what I got to bring to the team. I thought this was a great opportunity for the kids. They got a chance to kind of see what we do. The fire department can be a mystery sometimes. They were able to go out to our training center and take a look at what the job was like, how you become a member of Portland Fire and Rescue. It was, in my opinion, it was a great experience for both of us. Hopefully from this, they got to see some of the opportunities for their futures. Grade 1 with Portland Fire is kind of what we were there for. So that was a great program, great experience. We really enjoyed our participation. We thank you for allowing us to do that, and they'll go to continue in the future.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and the City Council. My name is Askina Sharif, and I'm an academic program volunteer at ICO, and also a soccer coach for United FC, which is a Somali-based team. My vision for this game of soccer is to see that it just reaches far beyond and bridges the gap between the community and the city by sharing ideas and thoughts and working together hand in hand. There's a lot we can gain by sharing our ideas and vision for the community and the city in general. When we came to Oregon, especially me when I came to Oregon, I was only 14 years old. From our original countries, most of us didn't speak English. We were unable to communicate, let alone to integrate into the society. But one thing helped me a great deal, and that was playing soccer from my high school, which was Madison High School. This was significant for me personally because I didn't need to speak the language in order for me to participate on the soccer field. The city of Portland can do a great deal for immigrants and refugees by providing and establishing fields that they can practice on all year round and only when they have tournaments. Furthermore, the city of Portland can play a significant role by engaging and understanding the impact soccer could have in various ways throughout the community and the city in general. And one thing I just want to mention that I wasn't prepared, but since I have this opportunity, if you guys, Mayor and the councilors can allow me. Well, I'm from Somalia, and from a small city called Brava. It's under control of these militias. And they don't let anybody play soccer. They don't allow, not only they don't allow, and if they see you playing soccer, you get punished. it's very privileged for us to live in this country, which is free. We can play soccer, not only boys, also girls. And through this soccer, we find out that it's very hard for them to recruit anybody from the society, especially as we have these problems. And we, as you know, from Minnesota, a lot of young boys, they joined them, but they didn't know what to do. But those who are engaged in soccer, they never try to attempt going anywhere because it's something that they love, it's something that they just want to do it for their community, for their, there's just this feeling that for soccer they have, it makes them unable to do anything, not alone. So I think, you know, from my point of view, soccer is just beyond everything for us, especially here. That's why I became a coach for these young kids to make them not brainwashed with these maniacs who are just destroying the world in general. And thank you guys for allowing me, the mayor and the city council, and thanks.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Good morning. Who's next? Go ahead.
Morning. My name is Ramon. I'm coaching youth programs from 4 years ago, and I was invited last year to participate on this amazing tournament. And I work with the low-income families. My time is volunteer all the time, and you know, the soccer is a big tool, big tool for our community in the whole world, because you know, I like to see our community graduation on the schools, you know, finish the college. 70% of our low-income families, they don't finish the school. That's why I take this big tool, you know, soccer, or share with the younger players and development skills, mentally and physical. I started in 2004 with 7 years old. Now they 18, and 90% of those players have a good, very good credits in high school, and everybody, those kids apply for very good college, you know, universities. One of those kids is here. His name is Josue. He's played for me for 10 years. He's going to Centennial. My philosophy for this team is family, school, and soccer. Those three together, they got a big opportunity in the life. So this tournament is very important because when last year they invited me to participate in this tournament, we have like 6 or 8 teams. This year was, see, like 16 teams, and we passed the boys. And maybe this year it's gonna be 20 or 25 teams, you know. The most important is for, you know, integration for our community. That's the most important, for learn about different cultures, you know. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope one of these kids or players in the future, they finish or take your place in the future. You know. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's great. That's great. Others that want to speak?
My name is Tyler Noble. I'm a senior attending Clackamas High School right now. And I'm going to share to you today about why I believe Portland World Cup is so important. So first off, it's not about the aspect of just playing soccer. We do this thing called Career Week, and every day in the entire week we have a different thing set up with it, whether it be with the FBI, firefighters, different stuff like that, and we go whoever goes, get hands-on experience with that job. And so I'd like to share a little story about how I become what I want to know, or how I know what I want to do when I get older. Is like, I think a lot of you guys already know, is the junior, senior year in high school tends to be some of your most stressful years of your life, because you're always thinking about, what do I want to do when I get older? And you have all that pressure from your peers, your grandparents, your mother, your dad. And so the summer going into my junior year, I thought I wanted to go to college and study business management. I took all the little placement tests, and every time that's what it came out to be. And I started to get in love with it, but after one day of those career days for Portland World Cup, it changed all that. So it was a firefighting day, one of the firefighting days, and we went to the Portland's drill ground. And we got to do a variety of different tasks, like climbing the stairs, like do a different, what's it called, a scenario, do an evolution, where you get to pull all the hose out, and then you get to spray some stuff. So that changed my opinion of what I wanted to do when I get older. So currently, right now, I'm a second year at my skills center for fire science, and I'm soon to be a Gresham Explorer, which will help me out in my career later in life. And I plan on attending Chemeketa Community College and getting a dual credit there for get my paramedic, so along with fire science. Portland World Cup has also helped me get one of my first jobs on the youth committee. So by next year, by right now, we're trying to organize and get everything going for next year's World Cup. And so this is why I'd like to challenge you guys to maybe come at the 2014 and demo a soccer game in front of everybody before the tournament comes out.
Just to clarify, yeah, that's a challenge between the players there and the players in City Hall. So Brendan Finn, where are you? I will be refereeing. And I grew up close to play soccer, and now, of course, we have our national championship phones, so girls definitely do play soccer, but you have to practice and you have to play hard.
Yeah. So that's it, so thank you very much.
Thank you, that's great, thanks. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. My name is Ahmed. I've been playing, I came here when I was 1 year old. I've been playing soccer since I was 6 at the highest levels. I had never met many Iraqis playing soccer with me in my club teams. But it was 2 years ago when I played in the first Portland World Cup. It was where I met a bunch of the different refugees who had just been arriving from Iraq. And now I'm best friends with at least half of the team. We still play together in other tournaments. And it's been a great opportunity for us to get to know each other, an opportunity we never would have had. A lot of those players weren't on course to graduate, but now because of the help they've been able to receive, we've had, I think it was 3 of our players graduated last year from high school. And so it's been a great opportunity not only to reunite the Iraqi community, it's also been an opportunity for us to continue our relationship. And we will hopefully, every single year, we meet some new people that are just arriving, and it just keeps making our community larger and larger. And I hope it continues forever, to be honest with you.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor and the City Council. This is the first opportunity since the election. My name is Son Subedi. Growing up, I was a soccer player. I walked miles barefoot and without a jersey. To play soccer in a refugee camp without a life, future or identity is too much for a young person to carry on their shoulder. But now, I'm the official coordinator of the Portland World Cup Soccer Tournament, helping to foster peace, partnerships among both new and old comers, and build one more city bridge between the city and the different ethnic communities. A player who turns 16 in Portland can play this tournament for 4 years, making friends from Central America to East Asia, from the Middle East to Africa, Europe and North America. They have the opportunity to engage with people who speak over 25 different languages. In the past 4 years, 1,500 youth from more than 2 dozen communities have participated, including underserved and underrepresented players. This is more than just a sport. This is a dream about Portland and the future of America, and a message of changing demographics and population of our city. This tournament provides opportunities for youth, parents and their communities to gain access to city resources, opening the door for dialogue and creating space. You cannot measure the enormous impact when they feel that this is their city and deserve to participate in their activities. And as they start their new life in a new home in a soccer city here in welcoming Portland. Now we have joined youth from 9 different ethnic backgrounds to serve on the committee that will organize the 2014 tournament. Partners like Portland Police, Portland Fire, David Douglas, African Youth Council, Buddhist Community, and the Office of Equity are contributing and ensuring for its success. This is not just soccer, rather a connection to resources and opportunity for the critical integration of newcomers and an event that truly helps develop the future careers of youth of color. During Career Week, prior to the tournament, we take the youth to different city offices to learn about all the partners and opportunities involved. That is where Tyler, one of the youth committee members, decided to become a firefighter. The 2014 marked the 5th anniversary of the tournament, and NPR has developed a podcast about the tournament, meaning that the country is looking to Portland to continue to honor these programs. For parents, soccer is a gateway of hope and network for integration. I hear parents excited to engage their kids in this tournament, build connections, and keep their youth from heading in a negative direction. This is an investment for better citizens tomorrow. Also, this is the celebration of unity in differences, turning challenges into opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. All set. Thank you. Others that are going to speak?
I think that's all we invited, and thank you so much for being here. We're trying to coordinate the timing of the World Cup soccer tournament next year to be in line with the Major League Soccer All-Star Game, which is coming at the beginning of August. So that's another reason that this is Soccer City, USA. And I am so proud of our youth players, of all of our participants, as well as our 2 professional teams. Commissioner Saltzman, you're going to be particularly interested in the awarding of this trophy because the score in the final was 5-4. So it's the game on Sunday with the Timbers at 0-1 was one of the most exciting games of soccer I've ever seen, and it was really wonderful to see the community coming together. Sports are like life. They require teamwork, they require a lot of support, some investment of money, but a lot of investment of heart and hard work. So it's now my honor to present the trophy to the Eagles. And is there somebody representing the Eagles here today? This is Abby. Thank you for all of your service. Thanks also to Ann Downing, who's been such a supporter over the years. Yeah, I'm really There we go. Oh, so
Why not?
Go Eagles! Wow. I couldn't, don't let Merritt Paulson take you over, okay? Merritt Paulson, say no. Awesome.
That was just excellent. Thank you all, and what a great program. And I loved all the statements today about what this does for people personally and for what it does for us as a community. Really powerful message. Thank you for great work. And happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Well, let's move on to the regular calendar, and then we'll go back to those items from consent that were pulled. So item 1134.
1134, extend an intergovernmental agreement with Multnomah County District Attorney through fiscal year 2013-2014 and increase funding in the amount of $60,000 for child abuse investigations.
I don't think we we have a presentation on this. It's simply the county's contribution to the joint effort. Any questions? Anyone signed up to speak?
We did have one person, that's Crystal Lewinsky.
Okay, come on up. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, Commissioners, Mayor. My name is Crystal Lewinsky, and I represent 10,000. It's kind of ironic to be wearing this hat, but this is a good day
I just
to
got
bring up
harassed about
these
my
issues.
camera
I
being in the
always
aisle, so I
learn a lot
moved
during
it.
communications, and I can see how this is the day that I will use as the juxtaposition to the day when I told you all that I would be sending a link to the video of a dysfunctional day at City Council. But today is, depending on what we decide, these agenda items, of course, I will juxtapose with it. I think concentrating on the youth is the way to go. It's a very clear path, and I applaud you all when that happens. In every aspect of your work, no matter what bureau you head up, who your business buddies are, if you just remember what the children need, I think it's the most helpful. And so I also want to mention that when we think of the future of our youth, and as you know, I come from work in foster care and Head Start, and I brought this up about a year ago, that we had our youth out in front of our front door, and we were just stepping over them. We need to remember them. This Sunday, December 1st, is the 2-year anniversary of the vigil for the homelessness. And every time I think about that, and the constant vigil that I continue to keep here, despite Mayor Hills and Homeland Security breaking up the vigil, and now it's disappeared, and I don't know where the parts are. I have like 2 parts of it. That it still exists. We still have the problem. We still have the vigil. We still have the remembrance. And I ask everyone that can on December 1st, this Sunday, to light a candle for those children that may not see a future unless we get our shit together. And those homeless, like the Pope, I'll quote the Pope because I just heard it today and I actually don't have it written down, but the Pope just gave a 40-page statement on the way the Catholic Church is going, and I know my mother will be really glad to see this when I give her this video. But he asked, why is it that when a homeless person dies on the streets, it doesn't make the news, but every time the stocks go up, it's news everywhere? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Amen. Not like he cares.
Okay, so that moves to second read. No, sorry, it's an emergency ordinance. Roll call, please.
Novak.
Aye.
Fritz. Aye. Fish.
Aye.
Salzman.
Aye.
Hales.
Aye. Okay, 11:35. This is previous agenda.
Amend evidence property procedures for the return of undisputed claims for money.
There were some questions and suggestions about this, so come on back up.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and members of council. I'm Dave Benson, manager of the Property Evidence Division. If you recall, a couple weeks ago, we were here to amend this ordinance to return undisputed claims for released evidence monies. It's currently at $100. There was a proposal to move it to $500. Based upon the discussion here, we removed that caveat, so it's unrestricted amounts of money, and which makes it consistent with all our other policies of how we release cash.
So when we receive cash, we'll be able to release cash?
Within 60 days. After 60 days, we do deposit in the bank, and then we'll be required to issue a check. But within 60 days, if we receive money that's categorized as evidence, and we receive a release from an officer, a district attorney, or a court, we'll be able to release it in cash. And a lot of times these folks are indigent. They don't have bank accounts or even addresses, so it's really in service to them.
So I don't have a amended ordinance. The copy that I have is still the same one as 2 weeks ago.
I can't.
In the packet, the proposed ordinance from the Bureau
Right.
was distributed.
Okay, here's the amendment.
Okay,
Let me see that.
so we need to move the amendment?
I think we do, because we have not yet. It was just a discussion last week. So yes, a motion to approve the amendment would be in order.
Before we take that motion, Mayor, what document are you referring to that's in our packet?
It looks like this, and it says proposed amendment, and I didn't have it in my packet either, so.
It's not in my packet.
And I don't think it
You've got
works
it, right?
because we also need to amend the ordinance language, not just fix it.
No, that's still changing the code section.
Right. Okay, so they are amending.
Right,
number
currency
6
received by the
ordinance.
division may be held as cash or deposited into a trust fund. Property of this division may return currency in the form of cash. And then the third section is on attempted notice that the property is not claimed within 60 days, the property may be disposed of by the police bureau in the manner provided by law. Payment on disputed claims shall be authorized either by an appropriate court order or by ordinance. So the limitation to $100 in that case, and the dollar amounts in the other subsections have been removed from the language. So there is no dollar limitation anymore.
So I move the amendment dated November 14th, which includes amendment to item 6 in the ordinance and an amendment to code section 20040 as just read by Mayor Hales.
Okay, is there a second and any further council discussion? Then a roll call to adopt the amendment, and then we'll see if anyone wants to testify on the ordinance as amended.
Novak.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Fish.
Aye.
Salzman.
Aye.
Hales.
Aye. Okay, thanks, Dave. Do we have anyone signed up to testify or want to
And
testify?
Crystal also signed up.
Go, Kristen.
Hello, my name is Crystal Elinsky and I represent 10,000. I've mentioned the property that was lost in these police and Homeland Security raids, and so I thought I would take this opportunity to testify about that. It's related to the questions that I asked the commissioners back on September 4th and then submitted in writing in council chambers on October 9th. I still have not received any answers on that, and I was hoping that maybe I could find the right people here today on this agenda item, but I'm not really sure who that is. So if you could direct me, it is one of the, I meant to, as evidence, to hold up the letter again, the questions that I submitted, and a lot of property has been confiscated by people who need it, and one of these things is the vigil. So maybe before December 1st, you could help me get some of these pieces back together. It's not a monetary thing, so it might not apply to today's agenda item in that sense, but it is property, and it does matter a lot, especially to people in need. And I'm here all day today. I want to state to everybody here that as I requested on October 9th, I would like to meet with the commissioners and the mayor on the issue I had. And October 9th, Mayor Hales we communicated during my testimony that he would reach out to me. I've only had 2 commissioners reach out to me. And the process to simply get a meeting for an average citizen like me that has something very urgent and to deal with, it's a bit surprising that it takes 4 months. In this case of the mayor's office, it's a long process. It's about a month just to find out just to hear back from the request to have a meeting. Very complicated. In Nick Fish's office, they're stating that he's very busy with his election campaign. And I wanted to let you know, Mayor, that I read an article recently in Willamette Week, I believe it was, that you were going to ask him to help you with some of your issues, and I want to state that he's very busy.
So I hear.
Yeah, so good luck on that. But I did communicate with you in person, each of you once since this incident, in person. And even if your office shuts me down or doesn't even call me back ever, I have a very limited time to do this because of your own regulations before I have to take drastic measures.
We'll try to get you answers, so appreciate you persevering.
But for the vigil, December 1st, this Sunday, I'd like to have it back. So ask the police, ask Homeland Security, where is it?
See if we can get you answers.
So Crystal, just for you and others who may be wondering, sometimes it's more constructive to meet with our staff whose schedules may be more open and who can really dig down into the details of how to
Well, I already
address the
spoke
challenge.
on that on October 9th about why I needed to speak with you each individually in a meeting.
And the way it usually
Or a
works.
public statement. I have not received a public statement from any of your offices yet.
The way it works best is if you meet with staff to scope out the problem.
And I have met with your staff.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so anyone else to testify on that item?
Seriously,
Then
as if I
we
wouldn't.
need to take a roll call on the ordinance as amended.
Noted.
Aye.
Fritz.
Thank you for your responsiveness, and this is an improvement tonight.
Fish. Glassman. Hales.
Aye. Okay. Next item, 36.
Amend the district property management license code to update the fee and cap formulas for the Lloyd Business District and a yearly fee payment escalator, and the district board's opportunity to recommend against it and make other housekeeping changes.
And this is a previous agenda item, so we're ready for roll call.
Noted.
Aye.
Fritz.
Thanks again to everybody who's involved in this. Aye.
Fish. Glassman.
Aye.
Hales.
Aye. And then the second Lloyd District item, 1137.
Authorize agreement with Lloyd BID Inc. for program management in the Lloyd Business District.
Roll call, please.
Noted.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Fish.
Aye.
Glassman.
Aye.
Hales.
Aye. Okay, and then we have two items pulled from consent.
We have
Oh, I'm sorry, I
11:38.
didn't turn the page. There we go. 11:38, sorry.
Consider the proposal of Firenze Development, Inc. et al. and the recommendation from the hearings officer for approval to change the comprehensive plan map designation from high-density single dwelling to attached residential, and the zoning map designation from R5A to R2.5 for property located in the vicinity of Northeast 14th Avenue and Northeast Fremont Street.
Okay, we conducted a public hearing and took a tentative decision to adopt the hearings officer's recommendations. So now we're ready for a roll call for adoption.
Noted.
Aye.
Fritz.
Well, thanks to everybody for their participation in this, especially the staff who did excellent work. Aye.
Fish.
Aye.
Glassman.
Aye.
Hales.
Still a little nervously aye. 11:39.
Amend the comprehensive plan map designation and change zoning of property at 3607, 3617, 3623, and 3637 Northeast 14th Avenue at the request of Peter Cusick of Lead of Firenze Development, Inc., with Kevin Palmer and Don M. Meany.
Second reading and roll call.
Noted.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Fish.
Aye.
Glassman.
Aye.
Hales.
Aye. 11:40.
Authorize application to the Federal Emergency Management Agency for a grant in the amount of $750,000 for fiscal year 2013 Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program to fund awareness and operations level structural collapse training.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a pretty straightforward grant request to the Federal Emergency Management Agency for for structural collapse training for our firefighters. As we know, Portland is very susceptible to earthquakes, and this training will provide awareness and operational level proficiencies in structural collapse, evaluation, and rescue. If we're awarded this grant, all frontline firefighters will receive some level of training in this curriculum. We have Emergency Operations Chief Dwayne Bray here to answer any questions that council members have.
Good morning, Chief Bray. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I have a question. Will we conduct this training at our own training center, or do we need a half-collapsed building somewhere in order to do this? I mean, how will we do this?
Portland Fire and Rescue will, we have trained the trainers that will be able to conduct this, and it is at our training facility that we do.
I was wondering if your daughter's coming home for Thanksgiving.
I'm going to pick her up today.
Good.
Happy and healthy Thanksgiving to your whole family.
Thank you very much.
Good question, Chief Bray. Great. Well, thank you. Good luck with the grant application.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone signed up on this one?
And Crystal also signed up for this.
She's still here? I don't think she's still. Okay. Anyone else? All right, and that's an emergency ordinance, so let's take a roll call, please.
Nothing.
I really appreciate Commissioner Saltzman taking the opportunity to apply for money to help us in this aspect of earthquake preparedness, and I'm glad the federal government actually provides some money for this purpose. Aye.
Fritz.
Aye.
Ish.
Aye.
Saltzman.
Aye.
Hales.
Yeah, there are decreasing numbers of places where the federal government is any help to us, but fortunately FEMA is one that still comes through occasionally. So thanks for seeking out every possible grant opportunity, just like we're doing
Yeah, we're not busy building
our emergency staffing requests to the
camps.
federal government. There are a few places where they can help us do our job and cover our costs. So thanks for seeking their help. Aye. Okay, we have those two items now that were pulled from consent. 1127 is the first.
1127, create a new non-represented classification of Assistant Transportation Director, which is exempt from the classified service, and establish a compensation rate for this classification.
So someone pulled this. Joe, did you pull this?
Yes, I did.
Did you want to speak on this?
Yeah.
Come on up. We have some staff here to explain it before or after, but.
Yes, I'm Kate Schmidt from the Human Resources Group Class Comp Unit, and I'm just here to answer any questions that you have.
Great, thanks. Go ahead, Joe. Good morning.
My name is Joe Walsh. I represent Individuals for Justice. I don't understand why this is an emergency. Only in Portland would you create a position and call it an emergency. I mean, why don't you just do away with all the emergencies and just vote on things and get them done? Because if you look at the schedule, week after week after week after, everything is an emergency in this city. And I think it's nonsense, just that point. The other point is you are creating another job out of an assistant director that gets $103,000 and you're going to up it to $148,000. It's almost a $50,000 raise. You had union employees in here not long ago begging you for less than 5%, I think. I may be wrong on that, but it ain't $50,000. So why are we doing that? And this is an assistant director's position. What in God's name is a director making? I remember not long ago, there were 600 people in Portland that made over $100,000 a year. And we brought that to your attention. Even some of the police were making over $100,000 a year with their overtime. You sit on this council, only make about $120,000, maybe more than that. Is it less? Okay, then the mayor must be making about 120, and you guys make around 100. You don't make $100,000?
I've been taking a COLA in 5 years, but I'm at 99.
99, okay, cool. You got a position here that you're gonna up it to $148,000, and it's an assistant director. Why in God's name would we do that? That doesn't make any sense. If you're looking for money to do things, do things. Don't spend all your money on this. This is nonsense. You're gonna rubber stamp this anyway, and I'm working on it to get all of you a little rubber stamp. Because that's what you do. They ask, you give. But it's all money that you're messing around with. And sooner or later, people are gonna figure it out. And some of you are running for re-election. And I'm telling you, people are getting a little irritated with the water rates, and when they hear about this kind of stuff, $50,000, they get pissed. Transportation, I think it's yours. Isn't that amazing? Mr. Novak.
Mr. Walsh, I hope you're being well paid by the Koch brothers and the Tea Party, because you're doing a great job for them. You know that it's it'd be hard to find a private sector organization with 700 people that didn't have a second in command making over $100,000. And you know there are real issues of equity and waste in terms of compensation in this country, with CEOs running corporations into the ground making hundreds of millions of dollars. But you think that it's your job to convince people in Portland that the real issue in terms of compensation in America is public servants, in your view, making too much money. I'm sure the Koch brothers and your friends at the Tea Party are very proud of you today, Mr. Walsh, very, very proud.
Well, I don't know the Koch brothers. I really don't. I know their history, and I know their background, and I'm Irish, so therefore there is no way I would associate with the Koch brothers because they're criminals. Rich criminals, but criminals. As far as saying that individuals in the city should not make $150,000 a year as assistant director, yes. Put me on record for that one.
Okay, thanks. Any questions for staff on this? Okay. Roll call, please.
Novak.
Aye.
Aye. Fritz.
So do you want to address the issue that Mr. Walsh raised first in terms of emergency ordinances? According to the charter, there is either the regular ordinance, which takes 30 days to take effect, or the emergency. I think that's a problem in this day and age, because although I don't think there's going to be a collection of tens of thousands of signatures to put this particular item on the ballot, I think there should be an alternative. Yes, it can be done immediately that is labeled an emergency, because I agree that's somewhat incongruent. On the other hand, I don't think there's any reason to not do this right away. Aye.
Ish.
I want to offer just one piece of context. When I had the honor of leading the Parks Bureau, we had a director and we had a position which was assistant to the director, but the assistant was not a deputy director. And what we learned with a very large organization that had a big reach is that for the director to be effective dealing with all the issues, including all the policy issues and community outreach, we essentially needed what I'll call a COO. We needed a person who day-to-day oversaw that kept the trains running on time for a very large organization. And we created a deputy director position, and we filled it with someone with a lot of experience. And it made a huge difference in parks. And one of the things it did is it freed up the director to do a range of things that he was not able to do in essentially performing two functions. And so this idea of a deputy director who operates akin to a COO that then frees up the director to address all the demands of the job, but in particular frees up the time to engage the public more dynamically, I think makes this a very smart idea, Steve. And I hope that all of the larger infrastructure bureaus move to this, because I think it's not only good policy, but it has another dividend, which is not often given enough credit, which is it helps us with succession planning. We are told on a regular basis we don't do a great job on succession planning in the city. And one way we do it is we have key leadership positions of people in training and waiting who could, if necessary, move up the ladder. So please support this one.
Saltzman.
Aye.
Else.
Yeah, let me speak even more specifically to second the comments that Commissioner Fish made. I had a community group in my office yesterday who have a lot of transportation issues in their neighborhood, and they urgently want to discuss those with the leadership of the Bureau. We have excellent community relations staff of the Transportation Bureau. They're here. They do a great job, but there are times when people really want to talk to the director, whether it's parks or transportation or the police chief or anybody else. And to the extent that the director is locked down managing the store, if you will, her ability in this case to get out and start building those relationships and solving problems at the neighborhood level is limited. And it puts into direct terms the point that you made, is that there's enough hours in the week for people working, say, 60 hours a week to do some amount of outreach to 90 neighborhoods or 100 neighborhoods and business districts as well in a city where there are only 5 elected officials. So these positions do play that pretty important role of providing in-house management skills that allow the director, whether it's Mike Abate at Parks or Leah Treat in Transportation, to get out in the community to problem solve. So on the other side of the ledger, we are conducting a span of control study to make sure that we don't have too many such expensive overhead positions. And that part of Mr. Walsh's point is legitimate. We need to be very wary of creating expensive management positions and make sure that we don't have too many of them. That's why we're going to look carefully at every bureau in the city to make sure that that span of control between managers and workers is right. But in this case, it does make sense, and we should do it now. All right.
Redirection and fluff.
Okay, item 1129.
Amend utility license law to adjust rate for water and sewer utility license fees.
Mayor, I pulled this because I thought it warranted a broader council discussion so that we have the full factual record before the council for a vote. And also because, frankly, in reading some commentary in the press, there was so much inaccuracy about this that I thought, in fairness, we could help clean that up by inviting Mary Beth Henry and council to be here, just to explain what we're doing, how this relates to Commissioner Salzman's 2004 ordinance, and why the city believes this is good policy. And then I want to correct a couple of things that I've read and seen, which I think the public just needs to know what is factual and what isn't. So Mary Beth is going to walk us through it for us.
Mayor and Council, Mary Beth Henry. The utility license law assesses a tax rate upon utilities operating in Portland, including the Bureau of Environmental Services and the Water Bureau. In 2004, the City Council amended the utility license law to limit the annual payments made by the Bureau of Environmental Services and the Portland Water Bureau. The purpose of the ordinance in 2004 was to reduce the annual water and sewer utility license fee payments from 7.5% to 5%. And in that ordinance, a cap was placed on the fees until such time as those fees reached 5% of gross revenues. We have now reached that point where the amount that the Bureau of Environmental Services and the Water Bureau pay is 5% of the gross revenues. And so this ordinance fulfills the original direction from 2004. What the ordinance does is provide transparency so that when you look at the code, it says 5% instead of 7.5%. And in fact, my office has received a couple calls over the last year inquiring about that. So really, we're really providing transparency and implementing the council's original intent today.
Mayor, if I could, I have a couple of questions, so I think I'll just illuminate some issues. Mary Beth, what is the principle that the city operates under in charging a utility license fee to a private utility? The charge is intended to cover what cost?
Well, for the utility license fee, it's really for the privilege of operating a utility in the city. And so any utility, whether it is public or private, would pay that 5% fee.
And is it fair to say that one of the connections here is that we give our public and private utilities the right, for example, to dig up our streets and lay lines and other things, and that is in part what this is intended to capture?
Well, I think it's even broader than that. It's really just for the privilege of operating a utility in the city.
So the city's position historically has been we treat public and private utilities the same, is that correct?
Yes.
And I just for the benefit of my colleagues, because I'm becoming a student of some of these questions for some reason, Mayor, it had nothing to do with my current assignment. I looked at the charter of the city because I wanted to see where this comes from. And I want to just read something from section 11-104 in our city charter. And it says, and I quote, "The council may impose charges it finds equitable upon the operation of the water system for municipal services of other departments, bureaus, and offices, and may impose fees of the same character as for public utilities." So that has been interpreted as giving the city the authority to treat public and private utilities the same. It's charter-based, and I would just note that this is something that the voters in 1966 approved. So the people of Portland specifically gave us this authority to treat utilities the same. My understanding is in 2004, Commissioner Saltzman's ordinance was designed to address what was a perceived inequity of the public utilities paying at a higher rate than the private utilities. And he set forth a pathway to getting to 5% for all our utilities. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what we are doing today is acknowledging that we've hit, the glide path has ended, we're now at parity, and we're just updating the code to reflect, the code language to reflect that all the utilities are being charged at 5%.
That is exactly correct.
Now, Mayor, there's I guess, a good public policy debate out there at some point about whether we should be charging utility license fees and at what rate. And I would think at some point, we maybe want to frame that discussion, because I think it's good periodically to go back and say why we do it and how we treat it. And I, at some point, would like to engage that issue with you. But I also, though, feel it's important for the public to know what's going on. So currently, do we have a guesstimate of how much is generated off the public utilities that goes to the general fund?
Well, between the utility license fees and the franchise fees, approximately $75 million for the general fund with all of those sources.
Right.
I don't have the specific figure, but I can get it for you for utility license fees.
And my understanding is the public utility is about a quarter of that. Does that roughly sound right?
Yes, approximately.
So, Mayor, one of the things that got my attention is I saw a story in the paper yesterday, actually online, and it got me thinking, because we're going to have a debate going forward about this and a lot of other subjects related to our utilities. And I'll just read you what I read. It's about the petitioner for the water district, being quoted in the story, and saying that the city had the legal right to charge this fee for public utilities, but that the charter amendments contained in the initiative don't touch the issue of utility license fees because, quote, we thought that would be going too far and would spark more opposition. So the petitioner has said this is not addressed. Well, whether you support or oppose the initiative, we have to make sure there's clear facts in the public record. So I asked the city attorney to pull the statement that they prepared for the public and it was presented to the court. And I just want to read you what they presented to an officer of the court. The measure that's been proposed would further change the existing charter language that addresses charging the utilities for municipal services or fees similar to public utilities. The measure would empower the district board, that's the governing board of the water district, to determine which charges the district would pay for municipal services rendered by the city or any fees of the same character as for public utilities. And the way that is accomplished is that the proposal suggests that section 11-104 be amended to say that the council may impose charges, quote, upon the affirmative vote of the district board. So while the petitioner has said, apparently to a reporter, that this petition and the proposed district would not change the current law, what I wanted my colleagues to be aware is that the specific language in this petition would change it quite dramatically, because it would make any of the fees that the charter allows us to charge our public utilities to be subject to an affirmative vote of the district board. And I'm just guessing that a separate entity might choose to vote not to have certain taxes, fees, and levies applied to it if the charter allows them to do so. So I thought it was a little misleading to say that there's nothing in here that changes this subject. And because this is before us in honoring a promise that Dan made in 2004 that's come to fruition, thought it was important to note that according to our attorneys and according to my reading of the charter, this would in fact alter our authority to continue to treat public and private utilities the same and to apply a utility license fee, and would make the continuation of this charge, which the council has historically thought was equitable, as authorized by the charter, subject to a vote of this new district board. I think that's something the public should know, and I think it's regrettable that the story contains some misinformation about this matter.
Thank you. Very helpful information. Appreciate that. Other
Yeah,
questions
thank you.
for Mary Beth? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care. Is there anyone signed up to testify on this item?
I didn't have a sign-up sheet out.
Okay. Arthur. Okay, come on up. Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Councilor. Mr. Fish has touched on a general issue which is a little bit more specific in scope than just whether a new public utilities district could vote to be tax exempt or fee exempt. If we just consider this as a matter of public policy, we're currently charging people through their water bill. Water is, from a biological perspective, more important than telephone service. So the city actually should consider opening a public dialogue about changing this revenue stream. I would appreciate if you could just take a second. These monies that are collected, which are about $12 million and $4 million respectively, they go into the general fund or are they specific purpose?
No, they go to the general fund, right.
So I think that's somewhat of an equity issue as far as regressiveness and stuff that the city should get into conversation, especially with this potential that public utility district may be able to actually exempt itself from this $12 million factor. But also, if you just look at the big picture, I think people will say that there's an equity issue of fairness if people have built into their water bill a 5% tax, the same as they have a 5% tax on their CenturyLink bill. Those are two different things. Having telephone service and DSL, while important to modern society, is not, people don't go around saying yet that broadband is a human right, but they do go around saying water is a human right. So just may not be this.
Can I just comment?
Yes, please.
I appreciate your thoughtful comment. The concern that I had as I read the news story was that the quote did not seem to be accurate. So first I wanted just my colleagues to understand that there is a proposed charter change in this. And second, if there were to be an independent utility district, I'm not clear as to why we would treat that utility any different than a private utility. For purposes of public policy, we could have that debate at council, but as proposed, we wouldn't have a say. It would be the board of this new entity who decide whether they were subject to our fees and charges. And I just think people should know that when they deliberate on this issue.
Thank you, Commissioner Fish. I think we are both deeply concerned about some of the transparency and implications of this proposed utility district. So on that, we're in the same page. That may not be as good an idea as it's being presented to be. And that concludes my comments. Thank you all.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks. Good morning.
It's Joe Walsh, I represent Individuals for Justice, and I left the Koch brothers outside. They're listening. I would just second the transparency part of this whole process. I think, Commissioner Fish, you were asked for comment and you refused to comment on the article.
No, that's actually not true.
What?
If you read the story online, there's an extensive comment.
Okay, but at one point, you were asked for a comment, and you refused to comment.
That's not true, Joe. I was never asked for a comment. That's why the reporter...
All right, so you're saying the reporter is inaccurate?
And that's why he corrected his story by including my comment.
Okay.
If you go online right now, you'll see a full comment from me, and that was just...
But you can appreciate the public, when they read that kind of stuff, they question the transparency of this body. And this body has a terrible problem with the transparency. You know, it's like me playing basketball. You know, it's a problem. You guys have to work harder. So when you're asked for a comment and you either hesitate or they say you didn't comment, I think you should react immediately.
I did, Joe, because I was not asked for a comment, and as soon as I saw the story, I called the reporter and gave a comment. He corrected the story, and that's
On
what
the
appears online.
internet, but I'm not on the internet.
Well, we
The
can't.
story has not been published, it has only appeared on the internet.
Okay. My question in this whole thing, in the transparency part of it, is this. Is this going to raise the rates of the public? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, that was one thing that was not clear. You could read the article, you could read this, and you came away with, what the hell are they talking about?
Well, one thing
Everybody,
this council can't control is the quality control of local reporting, so, you know.
no, I'm not talking about the newspaper, I'm talking about you guys. This here, when you read this and you read the background on this, and then you go and you try to bring up the information, you're going to get the newspaper. You're going to include that. But you guys didn't do your job on this because nobody understood what this was.
That's why, Joe, I moved it from the consent. I didn't place it on the calendar.
I took it off, not you.
Actually, he did.
No, I actually did, Joe.
Well, then they never notified me because I took 2 items off the calendar.
So yesterday, I asked that this be removed because this was not my item, and I felt there was enough confusion, we should have a full council discussion.
Okay, well, I'm pushing you a little bit harder. This is not the place to have this discussion. You guys need to have a public discussion on this water thing because you're gonna lose this damn water department. And you're right, Novik, I'm a little bit worried about losing back in this. But I'm telling you right now, you've done such a lousy job on the water department, you deserve to lose it. You really do. Except the people that are probably gonna control it are worse than you. And that's really scary. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. Mark J. Halfines Jr. with UCARE.
Hey, who, sir?
Mark J. Halfines Jr. with UCARE. So I just want to touch on a few things, and it's pretty basic. I think it's kind of redundant that we have a house that's actually a pump station that can't even house anybody when we can't even house homeless. But on top of that, if it does go to where they are tax exempt, I do believe that the rates better go down. You know what I mean? Because if they're already if they don't have to pay taxes on that which they're doing, then there's no reason for the rates to even stay where they're at. Because
There's nothing in the initiative that
I'm just saying.
addresses whether rates go up or down.
I know, but
There's nothing that prevents.
and that's why I'm stating my public opinion.
I'm just saying, there's nothing that prevents a new board from raising your rates or lowering your rates. It's agnostic as to rates.
Then we definitely need a
Regardless of
public
what you hear from
discussion.
petitioners, and people asking for your signature, there's not a single word in this document which addresses whether rates will go up or down.
And I have very little, or very limited information on this subject because, like he said, there's not really much there. But, so here's the thing is we do need a public discussion about it and try to figure out more about it and get some more in-depth details as to what's going to happen and what's for, et cetera, and more explanation in depth. Otherwise, we're all going in this blindly, and that's not okay, especially the public.
I think you got total agreement with this council about that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Do you know if the auditor or yourselves are featuring links to the initiative so people can find them or use
I
them?
don't believe we get to do that.
Not sure
We as individual elected officials can comment on a political matter that's in front of the voters, but we can't use city resources for staff time, so we can't put arguments about a petition.
I thought just maybe on Auditor Levon's page, it could be featured.
I'm sure
There's only like
she's
2 or 3
free to
to
do
do
that.
that.
The city attorney might know.
Mr. Mayor, the item is linked on the elections officer's page.
That's where it is.
On the auditor's page.
There is since you mentioned the auditor, there is a specific provision which would change our charter and divest the auditor of any authority to audit the books and records of this new body. It's a specific carve-out. And I don't know anyone personally who feels the auditor has not been aggressive enough in doing public oversight. So
Oh, well, in my case, that's
one of the puzzles that I think we also ought to discuss is why would the auditor no longer be able to have oversight of this entity? And why would you put that in as a charter change?
Agreed.
Thanks very much. Okay, this is emergency item roll call, please.
It's
I see
not an emergency.
non-emergency.
I lost my agenda, sorry.
11.
There's no asterisk, okay. It passes the second reading.
So
Okay.
those secret meetings,
Just like, say some thoughts?
Sure, please.
Voting. Because I think this is an important discussion, and I appreciate Commissioner Fish for pulling it, because it wasn't particularly clear, although the link to the ordinance and the ordinance language I thought was clear. It's good to have this discussion, and indeed, after the holidays, we will be having a lot of public discussions in the community about the proposed changes to the charter. The fees are important for our general fund, and much of the general fund goes to police and fire. It's essential that our essential services like water and sewer are protected from acts of violence, and that our firefighters have water to put fires out. And so it's, you know, our city government, and we're engaging on the next budget process, it's about half property taxes, and then the rest is half business license fees and utility license fees. So I know Mr. Hoffheims is very concerned about housing services and providing for people who live outside. These fees do that. And we hear a lot about how we have a two-legged stool in Oregon, and that we only have income taxes and property taxes. We don't have a sales tax. This in some ways can be looked at, as Mary Beth pointed out. It's the privilege of operating a license franchise in the city of Portland. And I think it's absolutely fair that every franchise be treated the same. And that's what this ordinance enacts, following on from what the government said it would do in 2004. Government's doing what it said it would do, and doing it in an open, transparent manner. That's what we try to do all the time here. So I very much support this ordinance, and I'll be happy to vote aye on it.
Will my colleague yield for a second? And Commissioner Fritz, I'm very pleased that you framed it around public safety, because, again, having read the news story where petitioner said there was no impact on this particular issue for the change, having worked through the charter and defined that in fact there's a significant potential change, one which a future board may very likely decide they want to opt out of any fees that we may impose, and for which we would have no role. That could, in the midst of a future budget cycle, blow a $20 million hole in our budget, precisely around public services like public safety. And I think whether you support that or not, I think we ought to be honest about what's at stake. And so I was concerned when the petitioner was quoted as saying this is not something in the particular charter change which he has drafted and presented to the voters. I was concerned that that was significant misinformation he was correct. And the public will make its own judgment as to whether it's fair to treat public and private utilities the same. Whether Commissioner Salzman's approach, which was to cap the rate for our public utilities, was equitable. And furthermore, whether this is an income stream to the general fund, which is either completely unusual or consistent with what lots of other jurisdictions around the country do. So let's have that debate, but let's not mislead people into thinking it's not embedded in this debate, because it has been done.
Points all. Thank you very much. And we are adjourned until next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
So you want me to, do you have a phone? Yeah. To make sure that I have volume.
All right, guys, so there's going to be a break. They will reconvene at 2. So I will be broadcasting live again at 2 p.m. Sorry, guys. I'll be broadcasting live again at 2. If you guys want to catch back up, meet back up when they're here. If not, if I don't end up broadcasting, it's on the Portland City Council or Portland, Oregon's city page for their fancy machinery. But I figured you guys wanted it raw from the real people. All right, love you guys. I'm gonna check off for today or for now. I guess, hey guys, real quick. real quick. Let me give you guys still a little status update before you guys check out. We were hammering them pretty good today. I've been hollering out fluff and all kinds of sorts of things, and redirection. Having fun with it. But we have a bunch of good, very valid points, and they keep fluffing the vigil lady up. I was passed by her name on accident, but she has been fighting for the vigil to get the stuff back for her constantly, on and on and on and on, ever since it's gotten taken and smashed. I'm very proud of her for her effort, because she just does not give up. She's relentless. And she keeps going before them, and they keep trying to fluff her up, and see what they're doing it for is for the city cameras, because it goes on the database, it goes on a bunch of different other places for the archive and so forth. But I'm going to check out what the agenda is for later this afternoon. I'm going to post this up if you guys want to read it real quick.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, how are you?
So, and then I got my wonderful artistic work from Wilmette Weekly. I added to it. This is Charlie's greed card. It says yours here. I'll give you a close up. Charlie's greed card. And it's supposed to be a devilish hymn. Your money, like a demon. Like a demon. So, using the mainstream media to advertise our work too. So, but they're gonna kick me out here shortly, so I got to get going. I'll do my best to be back here at 2. Keep you updated, and I'm gonna live stream down here. I'm actually gonna walk out with it going. So, if you guys want to hang tight, we'll walk outside, and you guys can listen to us talk a little bit too. Actually, might as well do that. Right? You see, the best discussions always happen outside afterwards, and we all congregate up there, and Individuals for Justice and Jose Sarica, the Humanity Hub. All of us get together and we have a good time, haggling and so forth. Get the literature. Gotta put the phone away. Alright, I'm gonna walk you guys out.
I think we're booked.
This stuff.
But that's happening. Or,
Bear with me. There we go. Pick this up. Walk outside.
Carla pulled it.
Hey, brother.
She did. I'm just not
Are you
clever enough.
MBH?
Yes.
I saw this initially on the
Oh, you did?
explanation.
Yes.
Well done.
Okay.
So what did you think about today?
All right, great to see you.
Not as bad as usual, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of fluff.
Yeah, but I think they it's a light agenda, I think, in lieu of the holidays. I was sad that I stepped out for brunch while they talked about the $48,000 pay increase change for the assistant director of the Bureau of Transportation.
Right.
So I look forward to talking with Joe Walsh and you about, did they pass that, or is it come back next week?
About the water one?
No, the one where they're going to retitle somebody in the...
Oh, no, they passed it. Of course they passed it, they rubber stamped it quick.
Well, maybe they're a good worker. Maybe they deserve
haven't even hired anybody yet.
49%. Well, I think it looks like it's going to be existing people, but,
Okay, well, I mean, it gives them an opportunity to upgrade, but
yeah.
I wish they would be more clear on those types of things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's expensive to get streetcars late and overpriced.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, I had to make that comment about the house they built from the Water Bureau and,
Yeah.
you know, got a beautiful house. Oh, look at that, what the people own is what the, mainstream media say that people own this beautiful house. But I says, yeah, but how many people can live in it? None. You know what I mean? It's, so, all right, brother. I'm gonna walk out and
Thanks
get
for what you do.
convo. All right, you guys wanna take a walk with me here? All right, let's do this. Get up on the elevator, like we're in a video game. Yeah. So, I'm gonna hit that button. And I thought that you might find this entertaining. Yay, it's in the elevator. All right, brother. See you later. A little fluff of my own. Get some butt to the people that watch over my stuff. All right, so where'd these guys go? Oh, there they are. They're already having a discussion.